video and then we can start. Okay, you can see the screen, no? Clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so we'll
Yes, ma'am.
start off there. We'll be discussing largely on articles today, right? So before we start, uh, let's hear a little bit from you guys about what is your understanding about articles, right? So that would include, knowledge of which element or which part of the sentence or say language as such, here English, would be considered an article, and what are the functions of article. Like in the last class, while we were discussing adverbs and adjectives, I told you that our approach towards grammar for this particular course would be more functional in nature. In the sense that when you're introduced to parts of speech, or so to speak, right, people might call it by different names. Some people might call it word constituents of a sentence. Whatever they are, and whatever names they are known by, in the functional approach, the focus is more on trying and understanding what each of these parts are and what they do to a sentence, or how do they help in the construction of a sentence, right? So our focus is mostly on functional aspects and in turn also on the sentence construction, right? Grammatical sentence construction. So from that point of view, how do you understand articles? Right? There are many things that I know about articles A and the, this much everybody will know, and also about the part that is used mostly along with and and. They're used with vowel sounds, right? As in the word that follows, if it begins with a vowel sound, then you have the and. If it is not, then you usually use and the is used for specific objects or specific references to be more precise. Now, beyond this, what is it that you know about articles, about its function? Anything that you want to add to what I just said? These are basic knowledge, right? This is these are basic things and basic knowledge. So I don't think we need to brush on that. Is there anybody who has confusions about it? You may ask, right? One thing, even before you tell me, I can guess is that now for a lot of you, maybe you've just started looking at language in terms of sounds. So traditionally, we understand vowels as A, E, I, O, U. So there could be a tendency for a lot of you to go ahead and mark an article with an and, sorry, a word with an and, just because it has, the letters A, E, I, U. So, like in the case of university, right? I think there are a couple of questions on why do we say a university and not an university, right? So this one is directly related to our the fact that we are more used to looking at consonants and vowels as letters and not as sounds. So that might take a little time, but that said and talked about, now we should be careful about the fact that whenever you're choosing between A and A, in that sense, based on the vowels or the consonants that follow it, you need to focus on the sounds, right? Only if you have a vowel sound do you have to take the use the and article, right? Now these are basics. We don't need much of discussion. What else? Um, do you have to add to this? Anything that you have observed, anything that you have found while you were going through the lectures or the assignments in general? What can you tell me about the functioning of articles? Why do we need it and when do we use it? Some of this is the part on vowel sounds and consonant sounds. These are more. It has got nothing to do with functions, right? It's more a formal aspect. It's like a rule in the language based on the phonetics and phonetic. But that's okay. Functionally, why should you use articles in English? Do we have articles in our languages? What do you think? What are our equivalents for and mm, our languages? The sense any Indian language, whatever it is. Do we have articles in our language? No, nobody. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I couldn't understand the question.
I'm asking, do you have articles in your language, whatever your language is? Which language do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
speak?
We have articles in Hindi.
In Hindi. And what are these? So what is the equivalent for an and the in Hindi?
Ye, wo, um,
Ye wo, they are not articles, no. Ye is what this. Wo is that.
ye,
They're
this.
pronouns. To my best of knowledge, we don't use articles in our languages, at least not the kind which are a and yeah, okay, yes, Ayush. Mostly you won't find it. There could be some languages in certain language families within India which uses articles. I am not aware of it. But largely, from the data, we do not have articles or we do not use articles in the way it's used in English, right? Uh, there are other ways in which we can quantify or make, our references more specific, but we don't have articles for that. There are other elements of language to be used in our languages. So this one is then more specific to English, or if you can maybe say more of the it's a characteristic feature of the languages that come from the family which English belongs to, right? Our languages flows. Now, in English, what is the function of particles? How do they do? When should we use that? It's a compulsory thing. In English, if you are designing, constructing a sentence, then articles are essential for making it grammatical, right? So if it is essential, then it should have a role in function. And what is it? Why do we use articles? So if I say that I uh, want a pen, then what does it mean?
Ma'am, to
Yes, go ahead.
specify some a subject, that is why we use
To
articles.
specify. Okay, one thing could be to specify. So what do you do when you have to specify?
Ma'am, that's why we use articles.
Right,
That is
one of the functions,
specify
yes,
something.
correct, right. So one of the functions of the articles in English would be to show the specificity of the subject in question, right? Or the noun in question, right? That's one element, or let's say that's the first function. First, we won't number it, but let's say it's one of the functions. Specificity. Now, among A and the words, or how many of them can show specificity? Will A and N be able to show you specificity? So if I say I want a pen, am I being specific or am I saying this in general? I want a pen.
So, ma'am,
Specific?
you're defining that you need one single pen.
Ah. So it is not specific, right? If I say I want a pen, it could be any pen. I'm not saying, I want that pen, or I'm not saying I want this pen. I am just saying I just want a pen, and it could be any pen. Right? So it, the statement clearly lacks, or the reference here lacks any kind of specificity. We are not referring to any particular object or any particular referential point, right? So A and an are usually used in cases where the reference is not specific. But if I say I want the pen on the table, then this is a specific case. And alternatively, if I have to, make this sentence grammatical, then I have to use the article the before the pen because I'm making it specific now. The moment I make it specific, the article that I need to use is the. Okay. Uh, in terms of its form, articles function very much like an adjective. Like, I say a pen, the pen. It's very similar to saying a black pen, right? Or simply a black pen, right? It almost has an adjectival function, but unlike the adjective, it's not optional, right? You can't have the article optional along with a noun. If it is a countable noun, you definitely need to use either a or an, depending on whether it's followed by a vowel sound or a consonant sound. But that's not the case with an adjective. Adjectives are optional. Only if you require to describe something, you need to use those words. But articles in English language, along with nouns, most of the times are compulsory unless specified otherwise. Okay, unless it's a situation where you don't need to use articles, right? Okay. So that's the first point: specificity and non-specificity. A and an will be used for non-specific references, and those going to be used for specific references. Anything more? Other functions? Look at this one: countability. Right. So if we are talking about nouns, then one of the aspects of noun is also countability. Right. Some nouns are countable, some are uncountable, right? So if your nouns are countable, and whenever I say noun, keep in mind that I'm also talking about pronouns. This applies to both nouns and pronouns. So uh, if you're talking about countable nouns, then you are going to use something between a and an, right? These are the only articles that facilitate you the process of count. Right? Countability is facilitated by a and an. And if it is uncountable, if it is plural in certain cases, then you use the. Okay? It's not compulsory at the time, but if you're being specific about something and it is plural, uncountable, then you're going to use the along. Okay. I'm just simply discussing. You will understand it better when you look at the sentences as such, but just to, just as a introductory thing and just to brush up on what we've already heard, I'm just talking about a couple of these. So first is specificity, second is countability. Anything else? You might have seen, some of those things in your um, lectures, right? If I say the Kumars live at door number 42, right? So you can, whenever you are making reference to a whole group of something, right? A whole family of something. Now, this is applicable in the case of human beings. This is also applicable in the case of animals. A question comes up often about the tiger is a ferocious animal. Should you write tiger is a ferocious animal, or should you write the tiger is a ferocious animal, or should I say a tiger is a ferocious animal? What do you think is right in this? Should there be an article at all, or if it is there, should it be a or should it be the? I think you have this question, no? Maybe practice or graded assignment. I remember this question. What do you think is right? Can I say the tiger is a ferocious animal? The tiger is ferocious animal. Okay, tiger is a ferocious animal. Or a tiger is a ferocious animal. A tiger is a ferocious animal.
The
Okay, someone says the life says the. Anybody with any other answers? See, in this case, in the absence of any, it's an individual tiger, then if it is an individual tiger, yes, definitely. But again, the meaning there is different. When you say a tiger is a ferocious animal, yes, your reference is to an individual tiger. an individual tiger which is representative of the whole class. Okay, so it's not that the meaning is not that just that tiger is ferocious. It still means that the whole of the tiger family is ferocious, but this one stands as a representative of that whole thing, right? So the meaning is similar in that sense to saying the tiger is a ferocious animal, because in both cases you are talking about the class as a whole. But when you say a tiger, you are taking that one tiger as a representative of the whole class, right? So and the are both right grammatically, but the meaning that they produce are different. Okay, understood? Any questions there? In both the cases, the reference is to the class of animals. But in the case of a tiger is a ferocious animal, here you are using that one tiger as a representative for the whole class and its characteristics. Got it? Okay, I hope you have understood. If you have doubts, you can ask. Okay, all right. So grammatically, you can use either or you can use the, right? Both are correct. But just understand that even if you can use both of it, the meanings that they produce individually are going to be a little different from it. Okay, all right. So there are some specifics like that with the articles, but otherwise the major functions are countability, which is taken care of by and sorry and specificity, which is taken care by the article the. Okay, that's all. They're very simple things. Just keep that particular understanding of articles in mind, and this will be okay. Let's start off with the exercise. Right, I will going to keep running this beyond 7. So we'll start, right? So the first one, most of the questions here, before we start solving, I must tell you that, they lack context, right? So whatever choice you are making between A and the, just collect your information from the boundary of the sentences. Since it's not in a paragraph, we are only going to depend on whatever details we have in the sentence. And even for your exam, make sure that you don't read beyond the sentence, right? Whatever information you have within it, use that knowledge to answer whatever the appropriate article will be, right? I have exercises on both, one with a paragraph and one with you usually don't get the paragraph level questions in the exam, but I have included it for the worksheet just to show you the difference between how assignment of articles differs when it's just one standalone statement and one when it appears in a paragraph. So the first 10, 15 sentences, they're standalone. So don't go beyond the sentence, just keep your understanding limited to the sentences. So the first sentence, I want dash apple from next basket.
An apple.
An apple. Okay, an apple. Uh, second one, dash church on the corner is progressive.
The church.
The church.
This has to be the, because the sentence very clearly, the context tells you that we are talking about not any random church, but the church on the corner, right? That is the one which is progressive, not any random church. So since we have the aspect of specificity is mentioned, you will have to use the. Okay. Now, third one, Miss Lin speaks dash Chinese.
I think
Miss
no
Lin,
article.
Ma'am, no
yeah,
article.
no
Blank
article.
space.
So there are a couple of, nominal usages or nouns which do not require any articles. So one example is this. What is here Chinese? What does Chinese refer here to? It's the name of the language, right?
Language. Yes, ma'am.
What if um, it was nationality? Then say I want to say he is dash Chinese.
Ma'am, then it would have been Chinese.
He is a Chinese. Or can I simply say he is Chinese?
Yes, ma'am.
No, he is a Chinese.
I think no article, ma'am.
He's an Indian.
No article. You don't require it. When you're saying he's, say, you can say he's Tamil, or you can say he's Kannadiga, or he's Chinese, he's Japanese, that's okay. But if you're adding other elements, if I have to say he's a Chinese man, then I have to say a. Okay, so nationality by itself may not carry article, but if you're using it in a phrase, a noun phrase like, a man, a Chinese man, or a Chinese boy, then you use a along with it, right? You don't say he's a Chinese, you say he's Chinese. Okay?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Anything else? Anything else? So, name of streets, right? They also don't carry any articles, right? Name of seas, right? They also don't carry articles. I'm just putting in some of this. I'm not going in details on all of that because I believe it's on the slide, right? You need to read that a little bit in detail and make a note of this. You can always ask the question, why is it that, I use articles with one set of nouns and why I don't have it with the other? There is no definitive answer to why it is so, because a lot of these things are also by practice and convention, right? So there are by meaning, by saying that there's no definitive answer, I only mean that some of it are debatable, and since those debates haven't been resolved, we're just going by the convention even today, right? So this is why no articles required for name of nationalities, no articles required for name of cities, no articles required for name of streets, but article is required for the name of road, right? So these kind of things, it will come easily to you if you are someone who reads very often. If not, you will have to make a note of these rules, these things, right? If you read, then you wouldn't have a problem. Most of the time, you'll understand where an article is required and where it is not. But if not, then just make a note of these rules, right? Okay, so Miss Lin speaks Chinese, or Miss Lin is Chinese, not Miss Lin is a Chinese, right? Fourth one, I borrowed dash pencil from your pile of pencils and pens.
A pencil.
Pencil.
So I borrowed a pencil from your pile of pencils and pens. Okay, and even in the absence of that, phrase from your pile of pencils and pens, it was just I borrowed dash pencil. You could say a. Okay. Okay. 5. One of the students said, dash, professor is late today.
The professor.
The professor.
We use the here by why not the professor is late today? Because the context tells you that it cannot be, grammatically it may look right, a professor is late today, but then the problem here is that kind of, the possibility of that kind of a sentence is a little problematic, right? A professor is late. If it is conversation between people who know, then this already someone who is familiar to them, right? They are more clear about which professor is late. So right, specificity is the aspect of specificity comes from the context of the sentence. That's all. So the professor is late. 6. Ailey likes to play dash volleyball. Ailey likes to play dash volleyball.
No article.
No article. So this also is another category which does not take. It's names of sports and games, right? They also don't take any articles with for them. So he likes to play volleyball, he likes to play football, he likes to play cricket. No articles required there as well. The 7th one. I bought dash umbrella to go out in the rain.
An umbrella.
An umbrella, right? An umbrella to go out in the rain. Correct. 8th one. My daughter is learning to play dash violin at her school.
No
Do
article.
we need an article there?
No article.
My daughter is so my daughter is learning to play violin at her school. Do we need an article or do we not need an article?
No article, ma'am.
No
No
article.
article.
Make a note of this. Names of musical instruments usually takes the article the. So my daughter is learning to play the violin at her school. My daughter is learning to play the guitar at her school, play the piano at her school. Right? This is what I was talking about, that there are certain things which are followed by convention. Right? So with musical instruments, you use the article the to play the violin at her school, to play the piano at her school. Right? So don't skip article here. The article here has to be the. Okay? My daughter is learning to play violin at her school is not the right answer. You have to say, my daughter is learning to play the violin at her school. Okay? Keep a record of these things. Just those specific sentences alone, either mark it off or just make a note of this somewhere. Rest of them anyway, you know the function, so no issues. Only the ones which, we use the convention to answer the articles, just make a note of this, right? Okay, 9th one. Please give me dash cake that is on the counter.
The cake.
The
The cake.
The cake that is on the counter, because it's specific and you get that from the sentence, the context of it, and so you use the. 10th one. I lived on dash Main Street when I first came to town.
The main street.
the main street.
So names of street does not require any article. I lived on Main Street when I first came to town. Okay. I lived on Main Street when I first came to town. You don't require any article there. So names of street don't take uh, articles, usually do not need it. But then if I change it to, I lived on uh, dash Meera Road when I first came to town. Then
No article.
there you need the article. You have to say, I lived on the Meera Road when I first came to town. Right? So it's not name of street. Street you understand, right? So there is this particular place and there could be, first cross street, second cross street, or some streets might have their name. Those inroads and small streets don't take the articles. They can happen without it. But if it's a road, then you can use the article the. Right? So several vehicles speeded on the Yamuna Expressway. Right? So it's a road. So anything that is a road will take the article the. Any question? I saw someone's hand raised, and now I can answer. Any questions, anyone? Someone's hand was raised. Was it by mistake or something? Okay, never mind. If you have anything, you can get back. All right, get that
Ma'am?
point. So there's a. Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, can you repeat 10th one?
10th one. What do you want me to repeat? So you have the name of the street there. Whenever you have a street, then you don't use any article. But if it's a road, then you have to use the article the. Right? Like, so I lived on Main Street when I first came to town. I lived on the Meera Road when I first came to town. Okay. This is basically to show that, streets are not very important, but roads are. Names of roads are important, so we are adding an article, but streets are fine. It's all right. They're not
Yes.
considered as important as the others. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Fine. Now, 11th one is Albany is the capital of dash New York State.
The New York State.
In
So
New
just
York.
look at it this way. If I say Bhopal is the capital of dash Madhya Pradesh, then should I use an article there?
No article, I think.
No article, right? No
Yes.
article. So Bhopal is the capital of Madhya Pradesh.
Madhya
Right, or,
Pradesh.
New
Like
Delhi
Delhi,
is the capital of
capital
India.
of India.
Correct. So similarly, Albany is the capital of New York State. That's enough. Okay, because you don't say the New York, right? New York State, right? That's enough,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Albany is the capital of New York State. Like you won't use the with other things in our context also. We do not use it here as well. That's it. Okay. My husband's family speaks dash Polish.
No article.
My husband's family speaks dash. No article. Correct. Right? Because it's the name of the language. Polish is the name of the language. So, no article required here. My husband's family speaks Polish. Okay, next one you all might already know. Dash apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
An apple.
An
And-
an apple a day keeps doctor away. Okay, next one. Dash ink in my pen is red. Dash ink in my
The
pen.
The
So
ink.
correct. The
The
ink in
ink
my
in my
pen
pen is red.
correct. It's specific, so we're going to use the article the, right? The last one here. Our neighbors have dash cat and dash dog.
a cat and a dog.
Yes. Our neighbors have a cat and a dog because any, right? We're not being specific about the kind of dog or cat. So a cat and a dog, right? All right. So you get a sense of how to use a and the. Please make a note of a couple of these sentences that we discussed. One is this one, number 10, right? Because name of the street, we don't use any article there, right? But if it's name of the road, we do. So 10th one, 8th one here, right? Name of musical instruments, always carry the article the along with it. 6th one, he likes to play dash volleyball. Names of sports and games usually do not carry any articles with it. So he likes to play volleyball, he likes to play football, cricket, so on and so forth. Right? Now there's a difference here. Okay, a little bit of additional point here. If the sentence is Ailey likes to play dash game of chess with her friend, then do you have to use an article there? Ailey likes to play dash game of chess with her friend.
A game of chess.
Likes to play game of chess. I'm just typing it out in the chat so that if anyone's making a note, they can use it. He likes to play that game of chess. Okay. So in case the articulation or the formulation of the sentences in this way, right? Not just not only just the name of the sports or the team, but mostly a phrase, a game of, right? Then the article is required, and it's mostly a game of chess, right? A game of something else, right? A game of Scrabble, right? So in that case, basically what is it referring to? When you're saying a game of chess, you're basically saying a round of chess, right? So which is why you're quantifying it and hence you're using the article right? The reference is to that singular round, whether that's chess or any other game, which is why we're using the logic behind using along with that phrase is basically that. Okay. But if it's just the name of the game, then you don't require it. Participants? Okay. All right. So 6th one, 8th one, 10th one, all of this you need to make a note. Was there anything else? And also this one, right? The third one, wherein you don't use articles along with the name of nationalities or the name of languages. Right? None of it requires any. Tell me one more thing. If I have a sentence like, he has been living in dash United States of America for the past 2 years. We have to use article here. He has been living dash United States of America
The
for the past 2 years.
the
The United
Correct.
States of America.
the United
Correct.
States.
Right? Correct. He has been living in dash United Arab Emirates. Again, you will use the,
The
right? So usually when you use the name of a country, like when you say he lives in India, you don't say he lives in the India, right? Or he lives in France, he lives in anywhere, right? In Italy or in England or UK, whatever. Not UK, England, right? You don't usually use articles along with the names of countries. But certain countries, like the ones that I just mentioned, the United States of America, the United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, right? All of them take the. The reason being, there is a plurality in their names. So India is a singular name, France is a singular name, right? Sri Lanka is singular name. But the case of this, what is it? It says there's a group of things that have formed this country. That's the case for us as well. But that is there in the reference, right? In their name, they have included that this is a alliance or this is sort of a union that has come together. So the United States of America, the United Arab Emirates, right? There's plurality in the name itself, hence we are using the article along with it. But if it is a singular name, it is unique by itself. You don't have to add any article the to make it more specific or unique because that's only the name of the country, right? So we don't have to put anything additional on our side. But countries that have the names as a group like this, right? The United States or the United Arab Emirates or the Netherlands, right? All of that would take an article and it's always the, right? Because that name only that country has, no other country shares that. So this is why you use the article the, and also because it's a phrase and it's not just a word which can make it unique. Okay, got this point? Names
Yes, ma'am.
of mountains. Names of mountains.
The Everest.
Ah, no, Everest is a T, but say if I'm talking about the ranges, right, and I'm saying mountain, I mean mountainous
The
ranges
Aravalli
like the
Ranges.
Himalayas. Right. So you use the along with the mountainous ranges. For peak and all, you don't need to use others. Like usually. Everest is the highest peak. You don't say the Everest is the highest peak. Right? That is not required. But if you're referring to Himalayas or something that has a range, then you say the Himalayan ranges or the Himalayas, right? Or the Alps, right? All of them are ranges, huge mountainous regions, so you use the along with it, right? Names of oceans, the Indian Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. But do you say the Caspian Sea, the Arabian Sea? No, you just say Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Caspian Sea, Red Sea, Black Sea, so on and so forth. But names of all the oceans will definitely carry the articles the. Okay, so a couple of these things. That's all. These are commonly, found in question. Maybe not in this one, but even otherwise, say competitive exams usually use this. So understand the logic why we use the article with it, and why would we not use it with certain names like the names of peaks or names of states or names of countries and all that, right? Okay, that's all. We move on to this second exercise. We'll try and do this. There are only three of them here. I am hopeful we can finish it. If not, at least two of it should be okay for us, right? So now this is a little different from the previous one. Like I told you before, these are not standalone. These are this is a paragraph, right? So I wanted to see how articles, have a little bit of a change in their function or the way it is used in a sentence. The moment, we come to a paragraph, when we leave a sentence and then we talk about them in a paragraph, their functionality differs a little bit. And I want you to have a look at it. Thanks for this exercise, right? So we'll start solving this one. Um, the paragraph here, the first one, no articles have been provided anywhere. We'll read and see and understand where do we need articles and where we do not. Okay. So first read it before we start discussing it. I want you to go through all those 4 or 5 sentences quickly, and then we'll get to solving them. Okay. Just read it. Please repeat.
Ma'am, can I get the answers?
We'll start discussing that in a while. I'm just waiting so that there are people who are reading.
Okay.
Just a few more seconds and then you can start. So then we have a question.
No, ma'am, just ready with the answers.
Answer. Okay. All right. So has everyone finished reading?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Okay. Good. So you now have the context, right? So as opposed to your standalone sentences, there are better contexts here, and it helps you decide whether you should use the definite or the indefinite article. That's all. In sentences, the question of countability and all, even though that is applicable, what matters more in the paragraph level articles are their functionality to show what is definite and indefinite, or in other words, what's specific and what is non-specific. Okay, we'll start. So I have horse of my own.
I have a horse of my own.
I have
I
a
have
horse of my own.
okay. I have a horse of my own. Right? That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
First horse is going to take the article a. I call her pretty girl.
No
I
article.
call her the bird pretty girl.
Should you? What is this pretty girl? It's the name of the horse. Right? So usually
Yes, ma'am.
names don't require the articles. Right? I call her Sweetie, or I call her Mia, or I call him whatever. You know what? Before names, you usually don't use articles, right? So no articles required here. I call her pretty girl. That's all. Then she is
She
intelligent.
is an
She
she
is
is an
an
intelligent animal.
Animal.
Right. So she is an intelligent animal. But she is not thoroughbred horse.
She is not a thoroughbred horse.
She is not a thoroughbred horse. Right. So both adjectives take articles before it. Right? This is what I was telling you, that if you have a noun, then and if it has countable qualities, right, you definitely will have to use articles with it. So it's not like your adjective. Adjectives are, they are optional. So I can remove intelligent and thoroughbred here and still have the answer right? But if you don't have the article, then the sentence becomes ungrammatical. So she is an intelligent animal, but she is not a thoroughbred horse. Correct. I could never enter her in race, even if I wanted to.
I
I
could
could
never
never
enter
enter
her
her
in
in
a
a race.
I could
In
never
a
enter
race.
her in a race, even if I wanted to. Yeah, agree? Anyone who has some other answers here? Okay, so I could never enter her in a race, even if I wanted to. Right? Correct. But I do not want to. Next one.
no
She is a
article.
companion.
No article, but I do not want to. No article. She is companion for my own pleasure.
She is a
She is a
companion for
companion.
my own pleasure.
Yes, so she is a companion for my own pleasure. Right? So again, article here. Wherever you find a noun, you will have to ensure that there's an article, right? And if it is not there, then there has to be other reasons for it, right? Then maybe it's a plural or something of that sense. Okay. Last sentence here, I took a swimming day or two ago.
I
No
took a
article.
swimming a day or two ago.
Correct.
A
I
day.
took her swimming a day or two ago. I took her
Yes,
swimming
ma'am.
a day or two ago. Right? Not day or two ago, a day or two ago. Right? Okay. This one was an easy paragraph. Now let's look at the second one. If this is in continuation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Same about the horse and other things. It's in continuation. Let's look at this particular paragraph. Right? Okay. You can read it once before you start solving. Please read it from the beginning till the end. and then we can discuss. Okay. Okay. We start.
Yes, ma'am.
The first sentence. Horse knows when he is going to race.
Going to
The
a race.
horse.
Going to the race.
A horse.
So in this case, you're going to use, okay, I told you this is in continuation, but since it is mentioned as a different paragraph, we'll treat it like that only. So anything in its first mention always takes the indefinite article, not the definite one. So you say, a horse knows when he is going to a race, right? Both cases A, it is first reference, right? A horse knows when he is going to a race, right? How does he know? His breakfast was scanty. Anything here? His breakfast
article.
was scanty.
No
Article.
article.
No article here. He is angry about that. Any article?
No article.
No article.
No, right? No article again, right? He does not have saddle on his back.
He
He
does
does
not
not
have
have a saddle.
Have a scandal on his back.
Correct. He does not have a saddle on his back, right? He is being led, not ridden, to grandstand.
to the
To the
grandstand.
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 Okay, now why the grandstand here and why not a grandstand?
Proper noun.
Ma'am, because it's a definite
They are
place.
referring to a specific grandstand.
Because it is
A specific place.
specific. It's a specific place. But look at it, it's repeating over and over again later on. Look at the following sentence. He is led under grandstand into unusual special stop.
Under the grandstand.
Okay, so the reason here is being you're right, we are talking about a specific place, hence the usage the. Otherwise, if it was something else, for example, in that case, then you will have to resort to the same technique we used before, which is using a. And because it is specific, we are going to use the. One more thing, once we have used the article the with something in a sentence, right? Particularly in a paragraph, thereafter, wherever you're going to say that word, you're going to repeat the same article. Then you don't change it. Okay. So if you're saying to the grandstand in first place, then wherever else you're going to find grandstand, it's going to be the grandstand always. Okay. So he's led under the grandstand into unusual, special stall. Anything else there?
No,
He's
no.
led under the grandstand.
Into an unusual special stall.
Into an unusual special stall, right? There an article was missing. The grandstand and an unusual special stall. Okay. Right. Now, the next sentence. Horse is nervous.
A horse is nervous.
Is
The
it a
horse is
horse?
nervous.
The horse.
The
We've
horse.
already specified, no? We're talking about the same horse. So the horse. Then the second mention onwards, everything has to be the, right? The horse is nervous. We're talking about the horse which we already mentioned. So now it has become specific. Hence, the horse is nervous. Sometimes, next sentence, sometimes he does not know what to do when starting gate flies open and track is before him.
When a starting gate.
The starting
When a
gate.
start, is it a or the?
The, ma'am.
A.
Why a, why the?
THE. When the
No,
starting
no.
gate flies
I'm
open.
asking,
The specifies a particular gate, but a to a common one.
yeah, and is it specific yet? The question is about whether the given
No,
thing is
it is
specific or
stating about
non.
a common cause.
It can be any starting gate, right? So sometimes he does not know
So
what to do when a starting gate flies open and a track is before it, right? So here you're not going to make it specific because it can be any starting gate, any track. Since specificity is not there, you're going to use the article. Which one? A or the?
A.
A, right? Got it? Somebody answered the, do you understand why we're using A here? Right?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
non-specific. A starting gate flies open and a track is before him. Now, next sentence. If he does not begin to run instantly, other horses are already ahead of him.
No article.
The other horses.
No?
No article required.
The other
If he does
horses.
not, if he does not begin to run instantly, the other horses are already ahead of him. Or other horses are already ahead of him. You don't require the, right? Even without the, it is okay. It does not
Because it's not
give you
specified
any.
what other horses are mentioned.
Yes, yes. No, as in, even if it is to specify, it does not add much meaning there, saying the other horses. So if he does not begin to run instantly, other horses are already ahead of him. It's a fine statement. There's no problem. Okay. And also, like you mentioned, we have not yet talked about the other horses to make this specific. This is the first mention. So other horses are already ahead of him is fine. Okay. Next one. During race, when he sees
During
another
a
horse,
race.
during a race,
During a
when
race.
he sees during a race, when he sees another horse just ahead of him, he will try to pass him. Anything?
No.
Nothing. There's nothing. During a race, when he sees another horse just ahead of him, he will try to pass him. That's all. Sometimes, next one. Sometimes jockey holds him back to save his energy for last stretch.
The jockey.
The jockey. The jockey.
The jockey, right? Because now we are talking specifically about the jockey that handles this horse, right? Because horse is specific now. So sometimes the jockey holds him back to save his energy for last stretch. Right?
For the last stretch.
Then
For the last stretch.
for the last stretch. So this is important. When you're using superlative forms, the article the is always important. So the last, the best, the longest, the highest, the tallest. The is always compulsory with all superlative forms of your adjectives, right? Okay. Now, eventually, horse gets to next sentence. Eventually, horse gets to run as fast as he can.
The horse gets to run.
The horse, right? The horse, because we now know the horse we are talking about. So eventually, the horse gets to run as fast as he can, right? Exercise boy watching owner's favorite jockey riding horse. He has exercised day after day. Says nothing.
Exercise the boy.
The exercise boy.
The exercise boy watching.
The exercise boy.
Watching owner's
The
favorite.
exercise boy, yes. You use the for exercise boy, yes. Then later on, the exercise boy watching. See, we are
Riding
using the now with all of these because they are all associated with that specific horse, right? It's not any random horse we are talking about. So everything now that is associated with it is specific. The exercise boy watching.
Riding the horse, he has exercised the day after day.
What about this one? Owner's favorite jockey.
No article.
Watching the owner's favorite jockey.
The exercise boy watching owner's favorite jockey.
The owner's favorite jockey.
The owner's favorite jockey. That requires an article there, right? You cannot leave it open. It's the exercise boy watching the owner's favorite. You can't say our owners because again it's specific now. So the exercise boy watching the owner's favorite jockey riding
The horse.
the horse.
The horse.
The horse. Right? Riding the horse he has exercised day after day. Anything required there? Riding
No, ma'am.
the horse he has exercised day after day, nothing, right? That part is nothing. Says nothing. Okay, so the exercise boy watching the owner's favorite jockey riding the horse, he has
Says the
exercised
nothing.
day after
Says
day.
the nothing.
No. Says nothing. That's all. Says the nothing is nothing. He says nothing. See, basically, this sentence is only this much. The exercise boy says nothing. But it has been intervened by this long clause here, watching the owner's favorite jockey riding the horse, he has exercised day after day. Right? So the exercise boy watching the owner's favorite jockey riding the horse he has exercised day after day says nothing. Okay. Now, last one. Secretly, he's planning for day when he will be jockey himself, and his horse will be the first to cross finish line. Will be first to finish.
Planning for a day.
For a day.
His horse will
For a
be
day.
the first.
Secretly, he's planning for
A day when he will be a jockey himself.
is it a? Do you say he's planning for a or is it the? Right?
He is planning
Don't
for
you
a day.
think
It
they're
is
talking
thinking
about
for
a
the future.
specific day? No.
Future date.
But don't you see that they're planning for a specific day?
Ma'am, it
Which
will
day?
be
It's not any ordinary day.
The day.
Yes, it will be the, but you need to understand why. Because you're not planning for any, random ordinary day. This is a specific day. Which day? The day when he will be jockey himself. Right? So that is what is important here. That is why the day. Okay, not a day. He is planning for that specific day when that person is going to become jockey. That's all. So he's planning for the day when he will be jockey himself. Anything there?
The jockey.
Be a
The
jockey.
jockey. Will be the jockey himself. The jockey himself. So secretly he's planning for the day when he will be the jockey himself, and his horse will be first to cross finish line.
Will be
The
the
first.
first.
Meaning that one?
The
And
first.
his horse will be the first. And his horse will be the first to cross
The finish line.
The finish line.
the finish line. The finish line. Right? So see that, while we come to a paragraph, the way an article gets represented in a sentence, otherwise, changes a little bit, right? Because there's a lot of context for you to decide whether something is specific or non-specific. A lot of things which, otherwise, if you take that sentence out of this paragraph, might take a different article as opposed to the articles that it might acquire with it sits in that paragraph, right? And this comes from the fact that paragraphs can give you better context of understanding what is specific and what is non-specific. Okay. I just wanted to show you that part of how it functions in the language, which is why I included the paragraph question. Otherwise, I don't think you have them for the exams. Okay. Okay. Any question? We'll close. I think we've already shot the stipulated time. But if you have any questions and if you have time, you can stay back. We'll answer it for you. Else we can close.
Ma'am, when will the mock test release?
When is your exam?
On Sunday, ma'am.
This Sunday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I think maybe by tonight or tomorrow they might release.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have one question. Ma'am, will there be any other supplementary content provided to us to practice questions?
Supplementary content in the sense?
Ma'am, extra questions will be provided to practice, ma'am, for English.
You will get the mock, I think, that's all. And then anyway, you have that practice assignment, so that's on randomization mode. So you can get, every time you refresh, I think they'll show you more questions.
Okay. So, ma'am, you'll
Besides
get
that,
more
there's
questions
nothing.
in the live question. Yes, ma'am. In the live
The last part
sessions
of
that we join.
live sessions you have on now there's more no, on like Wednesday. But that's a doubt clearing session. We don't usually practice it.
Okay.
You can focus on the mock, and if you have any questions on that, of course you can write and reply. Either come to the session, you can look, or else you can write and the reply. Right?
All right, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Someone can Arendra, you can speak. Are you unable to unmute yourself? From my side.
Ma'am, the pattern what we will get in the mock test will be the same on the qualifier exam?
Sorry?
Exam pattern, ma'am.
Week 1 to 4, not 5. Content would still be released, but your syllabus is 1 to 4.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Are you into, okay. Yeah, sure, please. You can be in join, no issues.
Ma'am, what are the things that we should carry for our exam in the centers, ma'am?
I think we need to contact those people and get details on that. I don't have a first-hand knowledge of those things. Please, they usually send you an announcement or an email about these things. No? Please focus on that. In case you have doubts, I think it's better you talk to one among the group members. I don't understand the risk of telling you things, omitting missing things for you. They handle these processes, so I think they'll be better equipped. Right to them.
Okay, ma'am.
The rest of you, if you have no questions, then you may leave the meeting. I'll wait back for Arindu to come back. Yes, yes. But do write those in case you're facing problem with the content in terms of understanding it or learning it. And join the live session on Wednesday also to find difficulties with.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. See you.
Thank you.
Sure. Arindu, are you back?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, ma'am, I had a few doubts over the last few weeks, but I could not join the meeting till today.
Sure.
Okay, so there was this question in one of the previous ungraded assignments. It is like this. I will type it out if you'd like.
No, you can tell me in case I have a doubt. I'll check on my.
Okay, I'll read it out. The question goes like this. Look at blank sky, semicolon. There are blank sun and blank moon shining together.
What is
So
this question and what does it ask you to do?
it is asking to fill articles.
Fill articles. Okay.
Yeah. So can we say there are blank sun and blank moon? It will be filled as there are the sun and the moon, no?
There are the sun and the moon. Yes, correct.
But do we usually say there are the sun or is it there is the sun?
No, no. So see that R is for your sun and the moon, right? Because there are two things. So you don't say there is pencils, you don't say, no, you say there are pencils on the table, right?
Okay, that R is for both of the
Ah.
words together.
Yes, yes. And usually this is a clutch sentence. So when you have there as the subject, it is always followed by R in case you have a compound, sorry, plural object followed. So there are the sun and the moon. If it was
Okay,
just the
but
sun, then you could say there is the sun.
the sun is that is preceding the sun only, no? So it should be according to the
But
sun
then
only. There's only
reference
one
is to
sun,
two
no?
things, no? The reference is to two things, no? It's followed by both the sun and the moon, right?
Okay, fine. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Also, there was one more. The shrinking of the world, blank, improved communication and transportation has increased the probability that hostilities everywhere will affect people anywhere.
Hmm.
So, what should be filled there? It is conjunctions.
Okay. What is the sentence again?
The shrinking of the world, comma, blank,
Uh,
improved
uh,
communication and transportation, comma,
hmm. Yeah, and that's all.
has increased the probability that hostilities anywhere will affect people everywhere.
Okay, do you not have any options?
No, no options.
No options. So in that case, I will want you to say the sentence again.
You want me to type it out?
Yeah, will be helpful. Thinking of the world. Just thinking of the world dash uh, improve communication and transportation. Could be either although or though or even though. One of it you can use there.
Okay, anything meaning because of can be used,
Ah,
right?
not because of anything that is used to show contradiction among these three you can use. Okay. There are
Okay,
many more
yeah.
like you have something like this balance. Those mistake.
The
But
word
anything
and can also be used
one
there.
of these, either though or even though or look, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Okay.
basically showing contrast. No? So it has improved communication and transportation, yet it has also increased the possibility that positive anywhere will affect people. So
Okay.
they are both in contradiction to each other. So any conjunction that shows contradiction and fits grammatically, they will be used.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, ma'am, one more thing was there.
Sure. Okay.
2 sentences. Drove with abandon and drove without abandon.
Hmm.
So the difference.
Drove without abandon.
Excuse me?
What is the question? What exactly is the question?
No, it was not a question. It was
Ah,
I found it used interchangeably somewhere. So that was the
what
confusion.
is it?
Pardon?
Come again? I did not hear you properly. What is the usage again?
Drove with abandon and drove without abandon.
Drove with abandon and drove without abandon. Abandon, am I hearing you right or am I hearing something else?
Yeah, you are hearing me right.
Okay. I think it would be better if I have a sentence or something wherein it is used so that.
I don't
Where did you
remember.
read it in which context?
It was there in the phrases class.
The phrases class. So is it a phrase then?
Yeah, it is a phrase with abandon and without abandon.
With abandon and
Without abandon.
oh,
There are two
okay. So
different
it's
phrases.
oh, there are two different phrases. The with abandon or without abandon.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Acha. Oh, with abandon means without a care. That's
Hmm.
what with abandon. Both are used.
Okay, they are
So if you're
interchangeable.
using without abandon, yes, they're interchangeable. If you're saying with abandon, it would mean that something is done without a care. And
Hmm.
if you're using the phrase without abandon, okay, then you would mean that you don't care about something. Or you, uh, basically that you would care about that particular. So without care is uh, with abandon, and without abandon is care. They're
Okay,
interchangeably, not interchangeably used, they both can be used in
okay,
context.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for your
But if
time. Thank
both
you.
are
Yeah?
with abandon or without abandon.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I
But
got
I
it.
think without abandon is like a more, uh, found use. It's a more frequent use than with abandon.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Good
Okay.
night.
Yeah. Sure. Anything else? Really?
No, that's done.
No? That's fine. Okay. Yeah. In case you have anything, you can write to us or join the session on that stage. Okay.
Write to us, like, is there any place where I can write to if I have doubts?
Yeah. Oh, yes. You can, whatever ID you're using to submit, make a submission,
Hmm.
you can write with that same ID. I think it should be Aishwarya's ID, if I'm not wrong.
Which one? I'm sorry, I did not get you.
No, see, you're making certain submissions for this right with us thing, no?
What submissions?
No submissions. Then what are you doing in right with us? If you are a part of that, then usually you will be sent some prompts to write on, right?
What? No, I have not got
No,
any.
you haven't received anything yet. Okay, then maybe wait. If you're not receiving it any further, then write to these people, right? Aishwarya, I think will manage that. So you can write to her. She'll see.
Okay, how often is it usually received?
It's weekly. I think they weekly send in a prompt. It has to be submitted by the end of the week.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Ah, okay. For all the guidelines, you will have like a total of 12 prompts based on various ages. So,
Okay, fine. Yeah, I never knew about that.
ah, okay. So you see, if you had already registered and been added, then they'll send you on their own. If not, you can write to them and figure out if your mail ID was somehow missed out or something.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Right. Nothing more, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Anything else? Do you need a...
No. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then. See you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.